I am with Julie Bilotta here in Cornwall, Ontario. Julie, you've had an interesting path. You, of course, were in the news nationally over the abuse in Ottawa, where you gave birth to your son in prison and all the controversy that escorted that. And you've had different incidences in Cornwall. And you've taken a really unusual and powerful path. You're now speaking and talking about the system, and you're talking about your experiences, which has to be empowering. But more importantly, you're going back to school. You want to enter the legal field.
Yeah, I'm really interested in going back to school in September for criminology. I was under the impression that if you had a criminal record, you wouldn't be able to work in a law firm or become a lawyer. But after I went to my trip in Halifax when I did a seminar, and I met a couple other lawyers, and I got talking with them after the speech, and they said, you know, like, it's something you'd probably be really interested in. I've always been really interested in that stuff. So they basically explained to me what the process was. So basically, I'm just gonna go and do it and see where it goes from there.
So how did you get involved with public speaking?
So since my son passed away, I've had many people different people contact me about different things. And a student from Carleton University got a hold of me, and they're part of a program called CPEP. It's run by Aaron Doyle, the criminology professor at Carleton U. And they asked me if I wanted to help them with the project.
What does the CPEP stand for?
I'm not sure what it exactly stands for, but I can find out for you. But it was basically a documentary they were doing about the abuse of power and of a lot of misfortunate things that have happened at the Ottawa jail. So I started there, but about 2 years, that was the first time I had done it. And then about 2 years before that, a woman who works with LEAF got a hold of me from Halifax.
LEAF is?
LEAF is a legal organization. Okay. So she got a hold of me from Halifax and asked if I would be interested in being a keynote speaker at one of their events. So I thought it would be, it was really interesting. I wanted to know more about it, obviously. So we corresponded for a while, got to know each other. She pretty much showed me the path she wanted to take this with and whatnot. And after everything that happened, I thought, like, what better way to turn a negative experience into something positive finally?
How did it feel after the first time you spoke?
Liberating. Like, it felt really, really good because I haven't gone to counseling or anything like that since my son passed. And after, like repeating my story, knowing that this is going to help other people that are going through hard times and, putting some exposure on the topics of things going on, it made me feel good, like I was doing something, in a positive light. So we kept corresponding about the whole Halifax thing, and I finally went down there in October that has just passed, last year, and I went and I did a health seminar for a bunch of women that are doulas and midwives and all in the healthcare line of work, and so I did that, and then I did a breakfast for LEAF. And that was about an hour-long speech, and it covered kind of like how I got involved in the justice system and what the mistakes that led me to being incarcerated, and then my journey of parenting and having a baby while dealing with all that. Now,
recently in Ottawa, I think she's a justice of the peace or a deputy judge, lambasted the system itself. The bail system and the court system, crowns. It was a very powerful piece, and we're not going to ask any questions about your own cases that are involved, but your perceptions. I mean, you spent time in that jail. You've seen the system from all sides. How bad do you think the justice system is, especially for women?
Especially for women, well, especially now that it's increasing. The population of women in jail has increased quite a bit over the past 10 years. I think in Ottawa specifically, okay, because I can't really touch on other places that I haven't been. I have been to Napanee, but the jail in Ottawa, period, it's bad. Like the place needs, the whole culture in the jails is you know, they all think the same. They don't really care. It's hard for women in there. It's a dirty place. I've seen a lot of people that needed health care be denied health care. I know what I went through personally. And I would think for anything to work in that place that they would have to maybe even let go everybody and start fresh. I don't think that there's a chance for people in there.
Do you think that your long-term future is going to be in Cornwall?
No.
No?
No, I think I might be done my journey here pretty soon. I think that it's just time to close that chapter in my life and move on to better things.
And that's school starting in September. What was it about working in the law and justice system yourself that inspired you to consider going back to school in that, as opposed to some of the other fields that are connected to some of the issues that you've gone through?
Because how do I say this? I want to help other people that have, I think it's easier to, okay, this is what I think. I think it would be easier for people to relate to me that are going through the justice system because I've been there and I've experienced it firsthand, opposed to somebody that doesn't really know what it's like to be there and what it's like to go through all the emotions and all of the hard times it comes through, you know, because most of the people in jail in Ottawa specifically are on remand and haven't even been convicted on something. So it's very hard, and I know what that's like, and it's basically a revolving door, and the justice system, unfortunately, is a very slow thing. So I want to do something where I can give back and help.
No, that's impressive. So you start school in September?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
All right. And what do you find has been the most inspirational thing that's occurred with your experiences through talking and everything that's happened since you started this path?
What's my inspiration?
Well, what's been the most inspirational moment?
Gianni's been the most inspirational thing, that he's the one, I'm doing this for my son, to make this right for my son. What's inspiring me to do this is that even if it reaches one person, or I change someone else's mind that might work in the justice system, or and change their mindset and realize how important their job is, then I'll be happy with that. What really inspired me was after I did a law seminar at the Dalhousie University in Halifax. I had a law student come up to me and told me, you know, like he realizes now how important his job is, and that he was going to start doing better in school because of it. But I had a young woman come up to me who told me that after hearing my story, she was going to school to be probably to work somewhere like in children's aid or something like that, and how important her position is and how it really affects people's lives. So for me, hearing like feedback that I'm touching it, that what I'm saying is getting through to people, that really does inspire me, and it pushes me to want to keep doing it. You know, not that long ago, I did an interview for Wilfrid Laurier in Hamilton. And I get a lot of a lot of people that want to do projects on me and not like my story and whatnot. So I do as much as I can. And everything is for Gianni. I mean, because of my son, this actually, the big thing that really inspired me is because of Gianni. In Nova Scotia alone, they've opened up a mother-baby program there. Basically, how a woman would get treated on the outside and go to her appointments and have all those options. They now have that in a jail there because of Gianni and I's story. And a couple other jails are starting to do the same, take the same lead. So that's really inspiring too, to see that I'm actually helping change a big problem. Well,
here in Ontario, it's a little scary. They're just announcing that they're going to add 2,000 corrections jobs in the next 3 years. This after they already added a bunch. That's nearly a 50% increase in jobs, and the crime rates aren't really going up. So you have to wonder what the heck's going on.
I mean, from what I've seen from the Ottawa jail, they have plenty of staff. So I don't know. Is that all? That's in Ontario? You're saying? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I think they need to be trained properly. I mean, I know they hear the same stories all the time. Like, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, and I mean, but you have to understand at the end of the day, these are still people and people's lives, and the punishment of jail is losing your freedom.
Mm-hmm.
It's not what they decide it's going to be once you get to the jail. They're just there to supervise.
Well, and also people don't always react their best in situations that are stressful, which jail would be stressful for a lot of different circumstances.
Is. You're away from your family, you're away from your children. I mean, you're cut off from life, but you just gotta keep in mind that you're not going to be there forever, and that there's brighter days ahead.
All right. Well, thank you for your story, and we'll talk soon.